are driving 1,000 miles home, and I just got into Texas. So I figured I would jump online for a while, and we could hang out while I make the trek home. And also, Texas is looking pretty wild at the moment, if you guys can see this. We've got that hazy sunset fog going on here, but I'm super happy to be in Texas because so far, just today, I think I've driven 800 miles so far. So, you know, we're making progress here. We're making good progress. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear me. I forgot I had this thing hooked up to the radio in here. But how is it going, everybody? Gregory, Vince, Douglas, how is everybody's day going? We're going to talk about this Volvo a little bit. We're going to talk about this 1,000-mile trip. Okay, good deal. As long as everybody can hear. Perfect. Thank you, guys. And we're going to talk about how there's no old cars left on the road at all, because we've been talking about it on Twitter all day, and the consensus is always hilarious, where everyone's like, there's so many old cars left on the road. And I'm just going to let you guys know if I see anything old at all as we drive. Right now, there's a 21 Sportage in front of me. See? All right, there we go. If we pass one old car, maybe Twitter will win, but it's just not going to. No, Cash for Clunkers literally did nothing at all. There is zero effect from Cash for Clunkers on the auto industry as a whole. Honestly, I'm going to make a whole video about that because it's always going on. Everyone always says that, but Cash for Clunkers took out 700, I think the number was 700,000 cars in a year where we made 10 million cars. That's the difference. That's the, like, hair of a dent that Cash for Clunkers put in the used car market. It basically did nothing at all. Yeah, of course they destroyed all the engines, but all those cars were trash anyway. Most of what you were trading in were like absolute beaters that nobody wanted. So, you know, at least now, like, everyone's kind of setting that point straight that Cash for Clunkers did nothing at all. It might have sold 700,000 cars, but then it sold 700,000 cars, right? So those are back on the road, and by now those are on fourth owners. Those are beaters at this point, because it's so long ago. Like, Cash for Clunkers, what was I, like, I think I might have been 21 or something like that, maybe 20, like fresh out of high school. It was so long ago, guys. So anyway, sorry if the phone's shaky. But we are here in the 2009 Volvo S80. And so far, it's doing pretty well, and I can't wait to get home with this car and actually do a full walkthrough, tell you guys what's wrong with it. I'm driving on the right because all the left sides of the roads here are terrible, and feel free to look behind me. The next car is in the right, going slower than me, and 2 miles back, basically. So I'm just gonna stay in the lane where it doesn't destroy the car. And the other thing about this that's fun is, if I do drive down a road that's super rough, since the trailing arm bushings don't exist anymore, you might hear it squeaking. I don't know if you can, I can hear it pretty well. If we hit a big bump, the bushing or whatever's left in the trailing arm will turn, and I really don't think there's any metal left at all in that back. So the other reason I'm driving on the right hand side of the road is to preserve that thing. It could fall off at any point. That's where I'm at. I expect that the wheel is going to fall off with me going 80 mile an hour on the highway. So I'm a little worried about that. So I'm trying to stay out of the really bad sections of the road. Now that I got into Texas, the highway is actually pretty nice right now, but you can hear it gets louder, and then it goes away, and then it gets louder, and sometimes it is unbearably loud. How's it ride compared to the Volt? That's actually a pretty funny question. The Volt has no vibrations. It has no issues. Like, the Volt is such a solid car. I'd say this thing is comfy, but the Volt is obviously like a far better vehicle because it has no miles on it. I only have like 50,000 miles on the Volt. I just crossed over 190,000 about 2 hours ago in this. So it was at 189 and change when I bought it. We're now at 192.14, and it's putting the miles down. I'm just hoping that a wheel doesn't fall off on the way home. But other than that, we're out here hunting for old cars. There you go, past one. Like a 91, 92 Nissan hardbody. One old car. We got one old car on the radar so far. Sorry, I'm not really reading chat. I'm just letting the phone hang out over here. I'll catch the messages I can, but they just pop up and disappear now. Faster than ever before. They didn't used to disappear like that. But we're looking for old cars, and we found one. But really, like, I'd say the median car that's left on the road now is no older than 2015. I know I'm saying that while we're in 2009, which is one of the oldest cars around me at the moment. But there's just not that many old cars left on the road because people don't put up with them. That's the other thing about old cars. No one wants to live with those anymore. So people say they want to live with them and they say the old cars were better, but when it comes down to it, they're like, yeah, I'll just go to the dealership and grab a new car. That's just how it plays out every day, you know. You got a 2020 V60. That's probably an awesome car, actually. Super cool. I don't think you can change chat settings once you start streaming from mobile. So I can't do that. Sorry, guys. But let's take a look out front. Let's see what's going on. We've got a new like Lincoln MKZ right there. I'd say it's a 2015. What's going on from Thailand? You know, the repos might be out of control, but the repos are out of control because of all the COVID era purchasing. And the thing is, everyone's kind of like really upside down if it was COVID era purchasing. So it's pretty crazy to hear those stories, but I also don't think those stories are representative of everyone or the car market as a whole. I just think there's going to be a lot of repos for a while everything stabilizes and then everything goes back to normal. No big deal. I mean, car enthusiasts are the ones that usually have old cars around, so it would make sense that you have like a 2000 BMW. They're good cars. I'm not saying they're not good cars. I'm just saying people don't want them. Oh, somebody wants the rear headrest down. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. It's so funny. There's just no reason to put them down. I always think that's the most ridiculous thing. I've had quite a few cars where the headrest will flip down remotely like that. Mercedes, Volvos. And you always just do it as a joke. There's no reason, like the visibility doesn't change enough to really do it. So, and then as soon as I put them down, I'm like, well, the car looks dumb, so I go put them back. So I don't see a lot of use for the old movable headrests. We fixed that in new cars. We have video mirrors. Actually, this has a video mirror too. Isn't this hilarious? It's not on right now, but it has a video mirror. Did you know O'Reilly sells cell phone? So the thing is, I have a RAM mount. I just didn't bring the RAM mount because I took too much stuff with me on this trip. The other thing I would have brought was an air compressor just to check the tire pressures. We never have checked the tire pressures. I inflated them by eye at Jay's house, can't talk, and that's where it's at. He was like, that tire, I think the driver rear tire goes flat about once a week. So we are truly winging it because I just aired it up until what I thought was about 40 on the air compressor's gauge because it was inflating as I was inflating the tire. I hope it's good, and I don't have any way to check it. No tire gauge. I didn't stop and buy one of those or anything. I don't want to buy too much stuff, but I do wish I would have bought a tire gauge so I could check that, or brought an air compressor. One of them. You have a steering wheel? I'll go back through the comments and check out that steering wheel. If you have an S80 steering wheel, like, or this one, that would be really cool. I do have AAA, like AAA Platinum, right? I don't have any dry ice for the amp, so I haven't been playing really any music. I finished Adrian Newey's book, How to Build a Car. It's like 10 hours long, and I'm sure the amplifier's not struggling playing back a book. So, did that earlier today. That was pretty fun. And also, back to the steering wheel thing, I'll check out the comments and get with you if you have one of these. That'd be really cool. And I forgot what else. Nope. Can't see the chats. Nope, I give up on chat. And of course, I don't have my RAM mount, which is sad. Backpack. $7,500 for an 09 S80 V8 with 115K. So obviously, if you watched last night's video, you saw the Auto Tempest listings, and that seems right in line with all the other V8 S80s. So I'd say that seems like a pretty fair price and probably really low miles for the age, obviously. So I want to let this guy past, but he's closing me in. I'll dip in behind him. Sorry if the signal's fading. I'm at like one of the 3 hills here in Texas. Brand new Denali, 2020 F-150 in front of me, 23 Ram right there, brand new Kia, whatever this is. There's no old cars on the roads, guys. There's a 4th gen Ram in the other lane. A 4th gen Ram is getting almost antique at this point. So it's pretty funny that there's like this overwhelming consensus that all these old cars are out here roaming around, but I don't see them. That was pretty old. That was like a 2012 F-250. Getting pretty old. But my point of this is always the really old cars are unusable as cars, like the 60s and stuff like that. You don't want to be in those cars for more than 20-30 minutes at a time. They're not, it's not pleasant. So GMT 800, kind of old, 03. Anyway, back to the drive here. Check this out. The sunset looks incredible in Texas. It's a like white sun. Most sunsets get like the orange and the pink, but nope. Straight up, it looks like the moon. We did already go over this in the live stream. Cash for Clunkers had zero effect on anything. It was basically just a stunt. I need some of my mods in here. Let's see, let's ban this guy. Sorry, Nicholas Wong, banned from the whole channel. You know the rules. If you ask about her, you get banned. It's always been a rule. All right, back to the drive. Pretty old CRV in front of us. Like a 08, something like that. Yeah, we are basically playing old car slug bug here, just to see if there's really any old cars on the road. Because I've been driving all day, and you know, you're always looking, and then you just don't see any old cars at all, even though the internet's sitting here telling you that they're all on the road. That's all the good cars are old cars. Thank you guys. I'm glad you wanted to ban them as well. Best food on the drive so far. Obviously, I grabbed Zaxby's on the way out of town. And then yesterday in Atlanta, while I was trying to get over to Ed's, I didn't. If you guys were waiting for VinWiki videos, I was there the whole day, and I never got to make it over to Ed's. I tried hard, but I have a lot of friends in Atlanta, and we were hanging out all day, so we went and got barbecue for lunch, and we did something else. I honestly forget all the things we did. We went shopping, hit a couple Pew Pew stores to check out some things, because Atlanta has some cool stores. And what else? Oh, we went to the Computer Museum of America. That was the whole reason that I stayed overnight in Atlanta, because I wanted to do a bunch of Computer Museum of America posts on Tech Throwback, obviously the Vintage Tech channel, can't talk again. And they were closed for an event, but they gave us a private tour, which was actually amazing. Hey, what's going on, Lotus Esprit de Corpse? He's probably out lotusing right now. All right, we're checking in on the old car punch cards. There was like a 005 Lincoln MKZ behind me, which is pretty old. I'll see. I'll hit up Tyler and see if he's down to trade this straight across for the Veyron. I think it could be possible, right? He's probably down to trade me the S80 that's worth 1/6 of one payment on that car for straight across. It seems right. Yeah, so the Computer Museum of America, when we got there, was closed for a private event, but the owner was there, and he was like having a meeting with some clients or something like that. And I was like, hey guys, I drove all the way down from Wichita just to see this. I don't know when I'll be able to be back. And he's like, yeah, sorry, I can't do anything. And then he called back and was like, just let them go on a quick tour. So it was super nice. So shout out to those guys. If you're in Atlanta, go check that place out. I mean, they've got Apple One, Apple Two, obviously Apple IIs are everywhere, but they've got Lisa. They have so many crazy rare computers. So that was awesome to see. They have so much cray. If you want to check out supercomputers, they must have 40 crays, which is wild. So that was a lot of fun. It was a good detour, but I didn't make it over to shoot Vinwiki. It was the goal. Didn't happen. All right, checking for old cars, guys. I'm not seeing them. How's the part recycling going? Pretty well. I don't know about the Ford Maverick Lobo. Obviously, I'm a big Maverick fan. I don't know anything about if there's another edition. But the Maverick itself is very cool. I like that truck a lot. Obviously, if you get the hybrid, you get amazing gas mileage. It's kind of the perfect little truck. I like modern minis a lot, and I've done a lot of work on a classic mini. I've told this story on the channel a few times before, but I've run from the cops in classic minis, even though they only go 75 miles an hour, and the cops caught me in like 3 seconds. And then they just said, next time don't run, and wrote me a ticket for a turn signal. It was honestly a great time. I saw them, they saw me. One of my friends was like hanging out the window, and I just put a system in it. And then we had it turned up like as loud as it would go in this like 68 Mini Cooper that had been imported or something like that. And we were having a great time, and it was like a small town cop. He didn't think it was funny. So I saw him, knew he was gonna come after me, and I turned right into a neighborhood and then zipped through the neighborhood and dipped out the other side, and he caught me like 2 miles later. So it would have been a great story, but he won. And I got a ticket that was like $60. It was a good night. Yes, I was Jason Bourne. Okay, so I saw some other stuff I was going to respond to. I talked about the part business a little bit, or at least I mentioned it for a second there. It was great. It's going great. We're still selling parts, and we just haven't listed a lot of parts lately. That's the thing that I need to catch up on. When we get those 2 minis fixed, I'll get back to listing parts. So after I get home with this, we're ready to finish up the International. I know a lot of people are ready to see the International really out on the road. And it should be really out on the road. I grabbed a couple parts for it while I was in Atlanta, mostly a leather strap because the exhaust is hung by leather. And there were a bunch of people commenting about the exhaust flapping like this as we were driving down the road. And of course it is. But I didn't have a piece of the strap that they use to rehang the exhaust. Now I do. So I'll get that fixed as soon as we get back. We've got the U-joints. We'll put the U-joints on, headlight switches in. Everything showed up while I was picking up this car. And we're going to, I assume, have it out on the road that night. It shouldn't be a big deal, especially with the cleaned up drive shaft. The comments did make a really good point though. I know, right? You like my tent, Tyler? Pretty awesome. The comments made a good point though. The drive shaft has like an internal, like a hidden slip yoke, and I'm sure it wasn't slipping. So my thought is, once I swap out that grease zerk, I'm gonna pump it full of grease super hard, and the grease should free it up, and then we'll get it moving in and out just a little bit, slap the U-joints on, and we should be totally ready to go. So that's the plan. That gets the International wrapped up for a little bit, and then obviously I keep alluding to the plans with the International. Everyone's already figured out what they are. And they keep posting about what they are too. It's hilarious. But you guys know what I do. You know what my favorite engine is. And we're gonna do what I do to the International. But we'll talk about it in a future video. So just wait till like next week and we'll do a full update on how the International is going to get my favorite engine. Alex, making tacos. That sounds amazing. I would love to just run by, but I am exactly on the other side of the country from you. I am just about to pull into Dallas And from Dallas, I'll head north back up to Wichita. And I don't know, I might hang out in Dallas for a little bit. I need to take a break somewhere in here. I left at 8 in the morning and have only stopped twice somewhere in there. So I wish I was hanging out in Chicago. It's probably a little colder in Chicago. 75 here, actually. Probably feels great. And tacos. So I'll get up there soon. We'll come hang out. Yeah, they make deep dish tacos, and you'd never know until Alex is like, eat this taco, but it's actually pizza, and it's actually not. Yes, there is a, it's not a backup camera, it's a rear-facing camera for this. It's got the digital mirror like I put in my LF, and it's not cool camera and a rear camera, and it records them all. Oh yeah, In-N-Out sounds good. In-N-Out, I'm gonna have to go there. I only get In-N-Out like once a year or something like that, so that's on the list. Good call. Good call. It would also be cool to eat something else in Dallas. What's everyone's Dallas food suggestions? We have actually talked about this squeak, and it is not from the interior. It is the trailing arm about to rip off of the car. So I'm just not looking at it. Whataburger's everywhere. That's not actually high on the list at all. I can get Whataburger anytime, really. You can just go to Oklahoma for that. Riley is not my niece. She's my neighbor. Tyler Potter is correct with get Taco Bell. Obviously, Taco Bell is the right move, but we're probably going to get In-N-Out before that. The squeak, though, is the back wheel probably just about to fall off. Like I said, I purposely have not looked at it because it's aluminum on aluminum. You can always hear that aluminum like wear sound. And I would assume that it's wearing through every bit of the suspension that's left. But we have to make it home, right? Like, these are a big deal to change. You got to get the car up on a lift. So we will do that when it comes back, when it's home. Ryden, huge thanks for the super chat. Dallas Saganye. Dallas Kanye. Babe's Chicken. I've had Babe's Chicken. It's good. Taco Bell for the true Mexican experience. I like your style. I like your style. Everyone's got great suggestions here. Mostly just Taco Bell. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to fix these trailing arms out on the road. So the goal is, if it makes it home, I'll swap out the bolt that it rides on, put the new trailing arms on. We got a new car. So it just has to make it, what are 400 more miles, 400 miles left. Fogo de Chao's everywhere, so I'm not going to go to Fogo de Chao. Driving across this country with a trailer is possibly the worst thing you could ever do in your life. Fly out, drive back is about the only way that's bearable, because you're still driving 1,000 miles. But you got to figure, if you take a trailer to pick up a car like this, especially, it would never make any sense. It would never make any sense. I would guess 1,000 in fuel minimum, because I spend 1,000 in fuel to do Houston for 2K, nearly 1,000. So it would cost, you figure what I paid for the car is the same price it would cost for diesel to go to Savannah and back. Like a nightmare. If you have to pull a trailer across this country, don't go get the car. Never, never, never. Even though I might do it. I know I'm saying that right now, but somebody emailed me a free car last night, and I might go get it. I might go get a free car. But it's still not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's sitting in the seat of a car for 60 hours straight. There's nothing worse. I'd do it for you guys. There's no chance I would be going to get these cars if it wasn't for videos. I would never go across the country for this stuff. Maybe something super, super rare. Like my Volt made sense. There's so few Volts like mine that are fully loaded with the adaptive cruise. Most people do drive, 30 plus hours to find a Volt that's spec'd properly. They just didn't make any of them. So you're going basically to California or something if you want to get a proper Volt. So what I'm going to get across the country is a Gen 1 Volt that has a good hybrid battery and a blown head gasket. So John, if you want to email me, I don't know that I'm going to get that one yet, which is hilarious. But email me, and maybe I could take your Volt and put the engine in the one with the good battery, because it's still getting 30 miles of range, and then I could fix it without, you know, wondering. Because if we put a head gasket in a Volt engine, there's a good chance it's never going to survive. I'm not going to deck the head or anything like that. And I don't think it's been warped. The owner actually, the email he sent, it sounds like he actually did a good job saving the engine and got it shut down on time. And he's been driving it on electric since without letting the engine start at all. But shoot me an email. Maybe I could combine the Volts and have one good one. Because I think rescuing a Gen 1 Volt is a banger of a series. And you guys know, I'm a Volt guy. And what could be cooler than having a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 again? All right, I don't know what else I missed while we were talking about Volts, or talking about the painful 3,000 mile drive it'll be to go get that thing. Put a big hog cam on the engine that's mostly a serial hybrid. That'd be hilarious. Good call, Tyler, good call. Yeah, I could just send a hotshot after it. That might be the right move. It would only cost like $800 to have somebody ship it, versus the thousands it would cost me to go get it. It might be time to ship. If I could get both of those Volts, ship them both to the house and build a good one, that would be fine. Look, yeah, this thing is a Swedish tank. Like I said, 190,000 miles today, just hit it. And can't do comma AI, only Gen 2s, and they're not even technically supported. It's all crazy. Jarrett, huge thanks for the super chat. We'll probably get the Volt. We'll probably get the free one in New Jersey. We'll probably get that one. I need to email the guy back. Huge shout out to Aging Wheels. He found that deal, or one of his subscribers reached out to him and said, come get this Volt, and then he sent it to me. So that's how I ended up with the free Volt, if I go get it. I gotta email the guy back. Oh, somebody asked about my ex-girlfriend from like 7 years ago in the chat. That's how you get banned. And I don't even care anymore. Like, none of it matters. I would tell the story, but you know, I made a rule 5 years ago on the channel that if you wanted to keep asking about her, we would just ban you, and I still follow the rules. I don't adapt. I make rules and we follow them. So if you want to get banned, it's an easy way. It doesn't matter at all anymore. It's like, it's so irrelevant at this point, but it's still fun to ban people for breaking the rules. We've banned, in 7 years, I might have banned 4 people, okay? It's not like it's a big deal. Yeah, Robert's super cool. Super cool. Glass Vial, welcome to the chat, always in the comments, so it's good to see you here. I don't think there's going to be any deer, because I'm actually going to be like all the way to Dallas before the sun is really down, I think, because I'm super close at this point. Are there any cars you would ban someone for driving? No. You guys know I'm into the dumbest cars. Why would I ban you for driving dumb cars? I don't care what they are. There's really like no car that doesn't have a story. Okay, the Nissan Versa doesn't have a story. It's cheap. That's the end of its story. Duggle Boogie, huge thanks for your super chat. Gave your Volt away too. Well, that's awesome. I'm sure it was a great car until you did. Most people that have Volts love them. It's a pretty universally loved car. The story is a bad trans on the Nissan Versa. Good call, good call. The Sea-Doo motorcycle didn't get built. I'm sure you're talking about my Honda Helix that we were gonna put a jet ski body on. But a guy came over to the house, wanted to buy the Helix. I was like, if you buy me out of it, you can do it. So he did. He gave me my money back for it. So he got the Helix. He also got that bearing fixed in the transmission, which I remember it wasn't the bearing, like the gear set was starting to collapse. So my tire guy for motorcycles is the one that did the transmission work on it. And he was like, dude, it was a nightmare, but I got it all fixed. It wasn't crazy expensive, $200 or $300 in parts, which is too much to put in a Helix. Kind of funny. But he fixed it, and that guy's been riding it around having a great time because helix is rip. I mean, they go 70, 80 mile an hour, which is hilarious for a scooter. And so I sold that to the guy that fixed it, and I sold the jet ski that was going to go on it to someone else. I think they wanted, I don't even know what they wanted. There was really nothing left. There's no engine in that jet ski. So, yeah, just go back in my old videos, and there's a bunch of videos where I had limos. So like some of the best videos that were early on the channel were my, I had a funeral limo basically. It was a town car, 6-door, right? Yeah, 6-door town car, 9-passenger with, the exhaust came out the side and up into like this super redneck muffler. We were gonna put like the giant horns on the front of that car. It was absolutely hilarious. And we take it out and get fast food. There's a bunch of videos on the channel about the old limo. So that's a good series, and it was pretty fun. The only thing that didn't get working on that limo was the rear AC. It was like the one nightmare. And then I actually drove all the way down here to Houston to buy a V10 excursion limo. And when I got here, the guy was like, it'll drive home, no problem. But I got here, we opened the door, my brother came with me, and when we shut the door, we could hear rust falling out of the inside of the door. I mean, the door was going to like crumble. It was going to crumble into pieces. And I was immediately like, is there any way? I'd already paid for it. I paid for it before I even saw it, came to Texas or anything. I was like, are you gonna be upset if I ask for my money back? And it was Andy House. And he was already kind of giving it to me. I think it was $4,000 or something, right? And $4,000 for a V10 excursion limo, no matter how bad it is probably not the worst price you've ever heard. So, and Andy House, of course, is the guy that wrecked that Bugatti into the bay, the Veyron that we all know the story of, right? And that's why I tell everyone he's the most honest guy on the planet, right? He got in some trouble for the Veyron thing. He started life over, and now he's just absolutely killing it. And my like one real business experience with him was that limo, and he was like, your money back Monday. I took his word for it, and the money showed back up Monday, and after that, I don't have anything bad to say about him for the rest of my life. Like, what a good deal. Where are you? My sister is looking for dinner. Just about to Dallas. So, I don't know. I can't see the nav at the moment, but I would assume 45 minutes away at this point, about the time the sun's gonna set. But, oh yeah, my Range Rover Classic, those were super cool videos. We had a lot of fun with that. Obviously, the Range Rover Classic is what really blew up the channel because the video Hoovy and I made went crazy. So the one where we had his mom's new Range Rover, his Range Rover, she had like a new one, P500 or something, right? He had the BMW one, and then I had Range Rover Classic, and that was really the video that changed everything on the channel overnight. So everyone's always like, how'd you get to where you are? And I'm like, that video took me from 10,000 to 40,000 subscribers in one day. It was insane. It was insane. So the Range Rover was a great car too. You know what's funny is I sold it to a friend, Thomas, who was on the channel a bunch, detailed a bunch of cars with me. He was the old detailer. He detailed the EXP. He detailed a lot of the early cars. So you guys have seen him in a bunch of videos. He came over and bought the Range Rover. I was like, you can just have it for $1,000, I think. I told him about the exhaust leak. He drove it for a while, and then one day it quit on him, and he said, screw this car, and left it in a Brahms parking lot in Wichita with the keys in the ignition, and posted on Facebook, whoever wants this car can have it. So a pretty typical pretty typical Range Rover story, right? But it was just a hilarious ending. And then I actually know who went and picked the car up for free and fixed it again, and they kept driving it again. It's just insane how many times that Range Rover changed hands, and everybody just kept putting miles on it. So good times, good times. And then somebody kept saying they missed the fire truck, and the fire truck was actually amazing. That was a great time, but I think I mentioned many times, you don't want to own a fire truck. It was pretty funny that I went and bought a fire truck for $3,000 and drove it home, and then, made all those videos with the fire departments, and we had fun with it. But at the end of the day, you can't work on a fire truck unless you have like this shop right here. If you're that loves truck stop, you can work on it. And that's about the only way, because you need lifts. I mean, it weighs 30,000 dry, 30,000 pounds dry. So if you can't service it on the ground, there's just no reason to try servicing it at all. Yeah, I took it to Cars and Coffee. I had a lot of fun with that fire truck, but it was leaking like crazy, just pouring out oil. Every time we drove it, we just had to fill it back up, and it was fun. You know, it was an absolute blast. But I'm glad I sold it. I sold it for $3,000 again. I didn't make any money at all, but I sold it to a local body shop, and I think that it's still running around Wichita. It might have a custom paint job on it now, and they use it for advertising, or it might still be like exactly as it was when I bought it. I don't remember, but it's tooling around somewhere. Oh, I actually know exactly where it is. It went to a body shop in Wichita, and now it's in Kansas City. And a guy I was friends with, because we both had GTRs, bought the fire truck and then posted it, and I was like, that's mine. The Arcadia fire truck, number 3. So that's hilarious. I think he still has it, and he's a volunteer firefighter, and he's just playing with it. But he found out quickly as well that you can't work on a fire truck as a civilian. It's not fun at all. And then, of course, yeah, the old monster truck. That was absolutely awesome. That thing had like 54-inch tires on it, you know, 18-inch lift, F250, cameras because you couldn't see the ground out of the windows. That was a lot of fun. Another fun Cars and Coffee mission truck. Old Harley. I thought it might have been a Goldwing for a second. No old cars have passed us, have they? Hey, here's the 4th oldest thing we've seen on this trip. Old school taco. That's like an 05 taco or something like that? That's pretty old. Of course it's a Toyota. I mean, what were you guys expecting? I expect nothing less that the Toyota is still out there cranking. He's getting, what, 18 miles a gallon while he makes 130 horsepower. Of course it's reliable. It's gutless. Toyota quality. No power. Boring. Runs forever. So we're still out here for old cars just to cover what are the oldest cars on the road while you're out driving around. But everything around me has LED taillights. You know it's all brand new. There's not another car in the lane other than the Tacoma that doesn't have LED taillights. Yeah, timing belt for sure. And this is a V6. I can see the V6 badge under the I think it's the pre-runner badge. It's got a long badge. Like already on behind me. We're getting into Dallas, guys. It's almost time. Almost time. Then I can stop for food. I don't know if it's in and out tonight. We were talking about all the food we've had on the trip, and we had Zaxby's to start. And then yesterday in Atlanta, we had this really good barbecue place that was called like Stack Jack or something like Jack Shack. I can't think of what it was. In Kansas, but it's its own thing where they have just 2 restaurants or something like that. And that one was really good. Pretty solid barbecue. And then last night, Tanner made fajitas. So no Atlantic cuisine there. They were just fire homemade food. So shout out to Tanner for making dinner. And this morning, Dunkin'. After that, McDonald's. And then after that, I just had like a tiny chicken burrito at Love's. Because once I get on the road, I'm just going to eat fast food and keep going. So we've only stopped 4 times today to fill this thing back up. I run it down to like 3/4 tank. And I feel like each time I stop, I put a 1/4 tank in it. Because it just goes and goes and goes. This thing's getting like 500 miles of range on a tank. You'd think it was my diesel. It's crazy. And we got the gas mileage way up. Way up. 21.7. I left Savannah yesterday at 15.5 and did not reset it. It was Smoke Jack. Smoke Jack was really good. Good call. Good call. That's what it was. Pulled pork, pulled chicken, and what else? Oh, and their mac and cheese. Got it all. It was fire. So I wanted to get that like $40 sampler, but I also didn't want to die. And we would have had to split that with like 3 people. We had 3 people there, but you know, everybody wanted something different. I'm not going to impose my food will on people. Yeah, some of those diesels can do that 1,000 mile a tank thing. The Ram Eco Diesel did 1,000 miles a tank. It's crazy. It's not like you need that. Crazy videos you would do with unlimited money. So Rich knew that my plan was to do the Hellcat Pacifica, but I was never going to do it because to do a proper Hellcat Pacifica, I quickly figured the math is $120,000 to build that car the way I want. So, you know, you need like a Hellcat Red Eye, which his Hellcat was flawless. I drove that one a bunch when I was up there. I love that car. We made that whole video tuning that car before it went into the minivan. Eric drove that car. We've all done a million burnouts and donuts in it. Like, that car has done a lot of fun things in its life. So I was always like, dude, Hellcat Pacifica is the dream. There is nothing better on the whole internet than I mean, Chrysler should have done it. We all want it. And Rich did it the right way without spending insane money, because he was, you know, he already owned the Hellcat, and then he spent like, what did he say? I think he said he spent $3,000 or $4,000 on the minivan, and it was no problem at all. But I would not build it as a joke. I know 100,000 is a lot for a joke, but a Hellcat Pacifica is not a joke. That's the greatest car ever made. I mean, minivans are so useful, right? Everybody that owns a minivan already knows that, like, the sliding doors and the cargo capacity is insane. I know car guys love to hate on minivans, but they are such a great platform. So I wanted I wanted to like build a tunnel. I wasn't going to do a body swap. I was going to go all the way, and the way he explained it in his last video, and spend $120,000 to have a proper 1,000 horsepower Hellcat minivan that makes the whack, whack. That's all I need. And the way he did it is exactly what YouTube needed. He nailed it. His is exactly how it needs to be done, so you don't have to break your whole, you know, an insane budget out. Yeah, I wanted to make a real car, but his is also going to be a real car. I think it's perfect, especially now that he raised the cage up after everybody commented about it. And he's bringing it here. He was like, I'll come to Kansas. And I was like, all right, dude, let's go hang out and go play with the, what are we calling that? The Pacifica or something? Oh, Hell and Country, whatever he was calling it. Pretty funny. But that's probably the unlimited money build, because I really don't think there is a better car that has ever been built on YouTube than the Hellcat minivan. It's something Chrysler should have done from the factory, and those are the real cars that we need to be building on YouTube, not jokes, you know. So just go all in on it. Oh, and the other reason is because it had to be a fully loaded Pacifica Touring, because Hellcats are already fully loaded. So you can't like mess around. You can't mix in like a peasant status minivan, like a no frills town and country, when you should have LED headlight, LED tail light, adaptive cruise, like fully. You need the $50,000 Pacifica or $60,000 Pacifica plus a $45,000 Hellcat. So that's how I wanted to do it. We had talked about all that, so I'm glad he went and did it, because I would have never done it. I would have never done it because it needed to be perfect for me. So he killed it. Ooh, nothing old. I'm still looking for you guys. There might be a couple old cars behind me because there's no, yeah, Pacifica Pinnacle. It had to be, I needed the Pacifica with the pillows in it. You don't want to be rolling around in a Pacifica that doesn't have pillows and massage seats and the Harman Kardon system or whatever. So that's like a grail car that Dodge should have been building. Oh yeah, Town and Country is way better than a Grand Caravan. Way better. No doubt about that. But the Pacifica is actually like a nice looking car. Really, really nice. Solid design. Stellantis isn't all bad, guys. They're not all bad. The TRX is the greatest truck. The Pacifica Pinnacle is the greatest minivan. I mean, they're still out here doing the thing. I know everybody's saying they lost their way and they're terrible, but they're still out here doing the thing. And also, like, the Jeep 392. Everybody loves that. So everybody, well, we just talked about the gas mileage in this. If you were talking about the Hellcat gas mileage, it's going to be like 9, especially once it gets minivanned. But in this, I've got the gas mileage now up to 21.7. Just keeps climbing. We're at just under 3/4 tank, and it says 385 miles left. So the Volvo's doing great. The system in here is great. I can't wait to get home and fix the windows. I can't wait to fix the windows, especially the back window. You can't see out of it at all. I mean, you guys can tell. You'd think it was like an effect of the camera. No, I can't see out of it either. Like, it's just straight haze. So once I get the steamer and strip all these windows, this thing will be pretty nice inside. Then we'll get it detailed, get it all cleaned up, figure out what's going on with TPMS sensors. Honestly, there's a long list of stuff that's broken on this, which I'm happy about. Jay kept fixing things, and I was like, leave this car alone, leave it broken. I especially feel bad after I say I'll buy a car and then people keep fixing it. I'm like, don't put any more money in it. We already agreed on a price, so you're just losing money. Please don't fix the car, you know? So some people were like, I can't believe he sold it to you dirty. I was like, leave it outside, leave it abandoned. Like, it should be as bad as possible, so I have stuff to work on. And yeah, of course, the rear trailing arms don't exist at all. That's what's squeaking back there. I assume there's just going to be aluminum powder covering everything behind that one that's squeaking. There will either be aluminum powder or the bolt will wear through and the wheel will fall off. So at least you guys are with me if the wheel falls off right now. We all get to experience it together. I hope it doesn't. I needed to make it home. But once I'm in Dallas, it's not the end of the world to come down here with the truck and trailer. And I'm sure I could call Eric and tell him to go get it. And he'd head this way, go pick up the trailer. I didn't air up the spare because we didn't have a pressure gauge. So I don't know what any of the pressures are on any of the tires. And he also told me that all the TPMS sensors have been throwing a fit forever. And he's been like randomly changing them. And, you know, he fixes one, the light shuts off, and then it fails again. So I'm probably going to just buy 5 sensors, swap them all, air up all the tires, and this thing will be fixed. What cars have I sold recently? Let's see. I sold the H2. I know I said I was going to sell it like 6 months ago on the channel. But we finally sold the H2, which was good to see gone. And what else? There's something else. And you guys would know better than me. But there was another car that sold relatively recently. We're gonna have to turn on the lights in here. I got into these trees and it just got instantly dark. But there's like cops up ahead. What's going on? He got somebody just now. Let's watch the drama. And it is an 08 Honda Accord. Would you put a Hellcat in a Wrangler? Don't they make the Hellcat Wrangler? Like, they made the 392 Wrangler, obviously. Or maybe it's AEV. Somebody already makes Hellcat Wranglers. You can just buy them. And that would be the way to do it. You can get those all day. Stradman's is Hellcat. There's probably a bunch of people doing Hellcat Wranglers. And what a cool platform. Probably 4 doors, but I don't like 2-door Jeeps. I think they look horrible. Jeeps that aren't long, it's not it. Not it at all. So I'm really only into like Rubicon Unlimited or 392 Rubicon, whatever. You know, 4-door, power top, Jeeps with every single option. Love them. They make me so happy when you jump in them and you're like, this is crazy. I can't believe Jeep sells this. And then you get in a 2-door and you're like, it's wandering all over the highway. It's just all kinds of crazy stuff. That guy probably did get pulled over for not speeding. I bet he was like holding up traffic. He was holding up traffic, got. There we go. We're back. We're back. What are we doing? Not fast enough, guys. We are not going fast enough. I'm barely going 5 over. I should probably be going 30 over. It is Texas. The land of everyone just hauling, and I love it. I love when you pull into this state and you were going pretty fast in Oklahoma, and then everyone flies past you suddenly, 20 faster than you were going. I'm like, yeah, get it, Texas. Get it. Love this state for that. But yeah, we're pretty much just going the speed limit. I'm almost there, so I'm not too worried about it. And also, I've been babying this thing the whole time. I haven't gotten into the throttle once in this car. I think Jay wanted me to take it for a rip, but as soon as I heard that bushing squeal, I was like, no chance. I really I won't make a single pull in this car over like quarter throttle until it's home. Not one. You gotta baby these cars when you're going across country, because you really don't want to be stuck 2,000 miles from your house. It's not a good time. The only way out of that is calling a hotshot guy or vehicle transport and getting on a plane. You can't call somebody and have them come save you. So if it breaks, the trip goes from costing, quick maths here, I'd say I've spent $200-300 on fuel so far. Maybe I'd say 300, because I am putting only premium in it, and a lot of the premium on the East Coast was $4 a gallon. Now we're back down to $3. But yeah, I've got quite a bit of money in fuel, and if I have to get back on a plane and then have it shipped home, $1,500 more to make it home instantly. So I try to avoid that. I do need Vita. I don't have Vita, but I definitely need it. Isaac, huge thanks for the super chat. We will make it home. Thanks for covering some of that gas. I'm sure Loves and Quick Trip will love it as I just keep stopping there. I even went to Buc-ee's earlier. We've talked about how I don't like Buc-ee's anymore. Oh, another state trooper. He's got the hat. Speeding ticket that time. He was handing the guy his ticket. But I try not to do Buc-ee's anymore after they fully screwed me one time. We were coming back from 2K. I had the diesel with the enclosed trailer, and I'm driving, straight back from Wichita. I'm out of diesel, literally out of diesel. It's on like E, and it says 0 miles remaining. I pull into Buc-ee's, and as you guys know, once people get there, the reason they have like 200 pumps at every Buc-ee's, they just park at the pump and they leave their cars there for like 45 minutes. And that's exactly what happened. I got stuck in line. I'm 60 feet long, right? I'm maybe 50 feet long, but I'm a diesel plus a 28-foot trailer, 60 feet long. And I try to get in to get diesel while it's literally running out, and I had to sit there fully trapped, couldn't back out, couldn't pull forward for, I think, 1 hour of it idling. And luckily that truck idled for an hour, because I was afraid it wouldn't restart if I shut it off. So just so lucky that on like 2 gallons of gas, a new diesel can keep idling for quite a while, because there was nothing left. Well, there was probably 5 gallons left. The normal diesel reserve's like 5 gallons after it says 0. So I made it, but it was a very bad day, and ever since then I've tried to avoid Buc-ee's at all costs. But I went. But yeah, Jay said this does have the Hilton tune on it. He didn't have Vita, but I think he had used Vita to fix a few things in the past on it. Ryan, huge thanks for your super chat. Again, not drifting with your... I wish I was out drifting with the F-250 this time. I was going to say, here we go, an old car. It doesn't have LED headlights. I thought I had one for you guys, but it's a Chrysler 300 that's not fully loaded. It has LED taillights. I tried. Mongoose is better than Vita? I'll have to check that out. I have heard of Mongoose too. But Vita's free, I think, right? That's like the whole trick, is you just jump on the old internet, find a Vita download, put it on Windows XP, and hook right up to the car, and you're good. That's my plan. So we'll see. I don't actually think I need to tune anything. All I really need to do is hook this up to the Autel, figure out what the codes are, and go from there. It shouldn't be a big deal to fix all the little things that are going on with this car. They're all little things. And I already have lights for them. He said there's usually an evap code. So we'll see if the evap code pops up. I haven't seen the check engine light once yet. Mind blowing. We got TPMS light and the airbag light right now, but I have not seen the check engine light pop up yet. Pretty cool. I would assume, it seems like everything's limited to 180K in Europe. Like all the BMWs and stuff like that, they usually have like a sticker on the dash when I get them. It says like 180 with a line through it, which is what, 155? I think it's 155. Because a lot of the like lower end BMWs only go 155 until they're on the limiter. And then all the M series BMWs seem like, I think they all go 186. So just need to get in there and delete those speed limiters, guys. Honestly, a lot of the BMWs that are limited to 155, I wouldn't want to be driving over 155. Because they're always like just normal 3 series, normal 5 series. They're not really built to do much more than that. Yeah, M tune on it, let's be honest. I would assume your E92 has a tune on it. At the same time, I know M3s go at least 186, or all the M class cars aren't limited until 186. So, tune them and you're good. Yeah, Volvo 240 would definitely be a Swedish tank. The brick, the turbo brick even. A turbo Volvo 240 is always cool. But this thing, I feel like it makes a lot of power. We just won't know until I get it home and we put the Draggy on it. So I'm kind of excited to see what it's like once we start making some pulls and sort out a bunch of things, right? Get the tire pressures checked, clean a few things up, change the oil. Like I said, the oil was like a half quart low when I jumped in yesterday. So luckily we were at O'Reilly's and grabbed everything. So I put a half quart in it. And also when I checked it, the oil smelled a little like fuel. So I was like, yeah, we're definitely at oil change time. Definitely at oil change time. That's the other reason I filled it up more. I wanted to get it right on the mark so we had some fresh oil in there that wasn't diluted. It happens when you're limping these things along. So, one oil change, few suspension pieces, we should be good. I will have to check the PCV. Good old Volvos and their PCVs. Fun times. But I need to get that Mini Cooper done too. I need to get that off the lift. I got to get Tanner's Aventador in because I have to finish up that thing. But the ECUs need shipped out, so it needs to sit on my lift for like a week. And then also he went and broke his R8 like 2 days before we made the Aventador video. So now I have to fix whatever blew up in his R8. It's either a snapped CV or a blown front diff. I haven't gotten out on the lift, so I don't know which one yet, but it's one of those two. It'll be good though to have an R8 back on the channel and do some work on it. That one's been on the channel before too. I forgot that when we did the pre-purchase inspection on his R8, I shot that video. So Volvo parts here usually aren't bad. I mean, FCP Euro has all of it. I don't know. They're not crazy. It's not like they're super expensive or anything like that. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not planning on spending a crazy amount of money to sort all this out. I actually think most of it's just elbow grease on this car. So we'll get her cleaned up. Volvo Performance Machine. I don't know what that is. The VPM. We need some of this Love's water. Did you guys see Love's updated their water and it's premium now? It says Love's premium drinking water on it, and now it's alkaline water. But it's like the same price. It's still like 2 for $2.50, which is a great deal. Good job, Love's. Everyone else now is trying to charge crazy money. I made so many Volvo videos before Elliot started on his V70R, guys. I think I had already made, before he got that, I had already done S60R. I had already done the C30 and sold it, or we had those at the same time. Then I had the XC90 after that. Now the S80. I think somewhere along the road, didn't I have a boring S60, like a normal one? I mean, honestly, oh yeah, I did. I forgot. You guys remember. There's like 5 videos of when I bought the S60 out of my neighborhood, pushed it all the way down the street to Josh's house. And then I did PCV6. I did everything on that Volvo. I forgot. I was like, yeah, I had a normal one. I've had so many Volvos on this channel. Nearly everything except for the Vs. I'm not a station wagon guy. We all know that. The BMW wagon was cool, but it's not really my thing. So I'm glad Jake bought that for his girlfriend. She bought that, actually. I think she bought it completely. My grandpa had a V70R though, but the early one, the one that's squared off, not the pretty one, like not the P2. So his would have been like P1, I assume. So is that a thing? Is there a P1 V70? You guys know the Volvos better than me. But I remember Grandpa's Volvo was very cool. He kept that for quite a while. I wasn't planning on giving this away. I don't know anybody that wants... I'm like, here, guy, I should do one of those t-shirt competitions like we did for the Corvette. You know, where you buy the mug to enter for the car. But you have to buy a Volvo t-shirt to get entered to win the Volvo. The problem is, I'd sell like 6 t-shirts because nobody wants the Volvo. 96 850 turbo, that's cool, Volvo. I like the Volvos, guys. I have not had the Gen 3, or what is it, the 9.5 Next Gen, the very, very last 9.5. I've never owned that one. And honestly, I probably never will. They don't exist. I've seen one in my lifetime. One of those last 9.5s. It is called 9.5 Next Gen, right? It's the one where GM finally gave them a budget and then they killed it. Super pretty. There's one that runs around my house. I see it all the time. It's the only one I've ever seen. Maybe we should make a not like this Volvo shirt and see if anybody wants it. I'll buy 6 shirts. 6 entries. That'd be pretty funny. Maybe we'll do it. Here's the thing. Those giveaways, I know everyone and their mom's doing them, but they're not exactly easy to put on. A law firm from like one of the 3 states where those giveaways are legal has to put it on. And I don't think Bunker Branding could also do it. So I need someone else to do all the organization because there's so much background and legal work that has to go on to run an actual lottery like that. I wouldn't be able to run it through the normal store. And Bunker Branding also makes you sign an exclusive that you can't sell shirts anywhere else. Honestly, I need to leave Bunker Branding because we're not doing anything together, right? I might sell like 3 shirts a month. I don't care that people know this, but like I literally just don't sell any merch. I know what I get paid. I make like $5 per shirt, $6 per shirt, and my monthly payment from them is like $20. So it's clear that I'm not selling any merch at all. So I need to leave them. I know people want new designs, but the problem is they own the designs. So I brought the original Watch Chair Go designs with me. Those are mine. But my favorite shirt of all time, the Rad Extreme one, the Make Mini Trucks Great Again shirt or whatever, or is that what it is? Make Mini Trucks Rad Again? I forgot what it is. But that, I love that design to death, but they own it, I think. So I need to I haven't tried. I've wanted to leave them for 2 or 3 years. Especially after Demo Ranch, after he started walking away from Bunker Branding too. They're great, love them, but we're not doing anything together. And I'd love to be selling some shirts, and I know you guys are looking for new designs. So basically I just need to leave, but I want the designs, and I don't know if they'll give them to me. So I guess I just need to go to them hat in hand and say, please give me those. And if I could leave them and work with somebody who is flexible. And the reason I say they're not flexible is because I still had on Twitch, I had Calendly or T-Shirtly or one of those creator T-shirt companies, and they were only selling my shirts on Twitch, and they tried to come after me with a legal violation after they saw that one place that was selling the shirts where I wasn't selling Bunker Branding shirts at all. It was crazy. I was like, this is ridiculous. So after that, I didn't mess with them, and I kind of gave up on them, and they gave up on me, I think, but we're still stuck together because of the contract. And I think and walk away. I just need to go bother them. I don't have Matt's number. If I had Demo Ranch Matt's number, I would have just called him and been like, hey, fix this for me. But it's kind of like working with a black hole. So that's why we don't do any work together, unfortunately. I wish I could. I love them. They print the best shirts. The quality's the best. They're screen printed. They're not DTG'd or iron-on. I love their work. I hate to leave them, but I need flexibility, and I need them to like come up with shirt designs for every car we do. Especially if we wanted to do something cool like this car giveaway, but they don't get involved with that. So anyway, that's what's going on with the merch. It literally is no part of my life. And I kind of wish it was, because we could have cool shirts. And maybe we could give away this Volvo. I don't know if anybody really wants it, but I'm not against giving it or doing a t-shirt giveaway. Like t-shirt sales giveaway kind of thing. Could be fun. Alex does all of his own stuff in-house. So Alex has a bunch of overhead and he has employees, right? So Alex does incredible work, but they like warehouse all that stuff. They warehouse their detailing supplies, their shirts. It's kind of cool because if you go up there, he has shirts. I don't own a single shirt of mine other than the ones you guys see me wear. I have like the 12 of them or something like that I own. And then everyone's like, can you give me a shirt? I'm like, I can't. I don't have anything to do with my shirts. I can't even get them for you. You have to buy them on the website. So yeah, it's kind of cool that Alex does all his own stuff. Cletus does all of his own stuff. I don't know what Jared's doing at Questionable Garage. I could obviously reach out to him, figure it out. But I honestly kind of want to just do my own. I would break up with Bunker Branding instantly and do my own. So I have been thinking about like setting up something at the house, a full t-shirt printing company, and warehousing it and rocking and rolling. I don't know, Street Speed's killing it. I don't know why you wouldn't want to turn into him. He makes a real living. I got this S80 because Jay emailed me and said, do you want this S80? I don't know who number 27 is. There's no backstory to the stuff I do, guys. It's just like, yeah, that would be interesting for the channel. Somebody sent me an email. And if the stars align, I buy the car. If they don't, they don't. I don't know. I don't watch Street Speed either. I mean, I might see one or two of his videos a year. Obviously, I watched like the whole where the government tried to screw him for jumping his TRX and stuff like that, you know. I watch that stuff. The thing about Street Speed is he was the wild man on YouTube, the wildest man on YouTube. I haven't talked about what I paid for this, but it was cheap. But he would go around showing the speedometer on everything he drove in every video, going like 170 mile an hour on the street. And I was like, dude, you are a wild man. Like nobody else on YouTube we had already all gotten rid of speedometers on YouTube, right? Like you either only show the speedometer or you don't show the road. So there's nothing identifiable, right? Because it needs to be, you know, the shot can't show both. So you either hide the road and show the speedometer and then make it look like it was shot in Mexico for real, or you just blur the speedometer and show the road. Street Speed was out there just absolutely showing everything while he's going 150 mile an hour beside his house. I was like, you are insane, dude. I mean, it's crazy that he didn't get in trouble for that one. And he did it for years. He doesn't do it anymore, but he did it for years. And I always thought that was hilarious. But that, of course, like when I was watching his videos, it was 3 or 4 years ago. I'm sure he doesn't do it now. The only other video I watched recently was his like SVJ delivery. But like he doesn't really do the content that I do. We do different things, very different things. I'm working on cars. He's out here buying fun stuff and having fun. Somebody asked if I know Hoopy's garage, which was hilarious. While the last video on my channel was me shooting the entire DeLorean video in his garage. We live right beside each other. No, I don't know him. We're in like, we must have made 100 videos together. It's kind of funny. Tyler's a great friend. I'll be over there Sunday helping them out with stuff for his channel. All right, let's see. I want to see the Rolls Royce again. So the Rolls Royce is over to Eric's. You'll probably see it soon. when we do the update on the International. What's this? Model 3 and then like a new Kia. Acura MDX, you got me. It had those kind of Kia looking headlights. I'm trying to see if there's any old cars. I haven't seen another old car yet. You guys have to yell out if you see an old car through the window. You won't though. We're still on the are there any old cars on the road, and there just aren't. I did sell all my GTRs. I have been, I think almost every state at this point. I don't know if there's really any state I haven't been to, but I spend a lot of time in Scottsdale and Phoenix. I don't think I watched the movie Sneakers. Isn't that an old hacking movie? Maybe I did watch it. Maybe I did watch it. Trailblazer 4.2 is incredible. I wouldn't want it, right? I would only want a Trailblazer SS because I had one. I had a nasty Trailblazer SS that was running 10s. Tons of nitrous, drag radials, loved it. And the Trailblazer 4.2 is just like crazy bulletproof. Oh, I had an Envoy 4.2, didn't I? You guys remember my Envoy XUV? I'm pretty sure it was a 4.2. So yeah, I guess technically I had a Trailblazer. And then I sold the Hummer. We already talked about that on the stream. The H2's gone. 97 Boxster or 97 Z3. But I don't know. It's tough. I actually kind of like the way that Z3 handles, but you probably want to buy the Boxster. It's just the one's a Porsche. They both drive pretty well. They're both pretty solid drivers. But that i5 in the Trailblazer and Envoy is unkillable. It's pretty sweet. Would you ever get a Jeep from the 2000s? Probably not. I mean, I've done Jeeps from the 2000s on the channel, obviously. There's a bunch of videos on those. I had a Grand Cherokee. We've covered most of this stuff, I think. If I'm getting a Jeep, it needs to be brand new. It needs to have Uconnect. That's like the minimum age of a Jeep that I want to be in. Or any Grand Cherokee. You know, Grand Cherokees are all excellent. Everybody loves them. So, but I just mean like a Wrangler. I don't want an old Wrangler. I still have the white Corvette. I still have the red Corvette. I haven't gotten the Mini running again. I actually know we were going to, if I was going to get rid of every car I owned and have one daily, it's a Porsche Cayenne or a 911 Turbo S. I mean, the 911 Turbo S is the greatest car in the world. Really? You know, like the Aventador is the greatest garbage car in the world. It's incredible. Like, you're never happier than when you're in an Aventador. But if you need a car that actually does everything properly, it's the 911 Turbo S. But if you can only have one car at all, and it's not a fun car, right? If it actually has to do everything, it needs to be like a Cayenne Turbo S, because that's like the third greatest car in the world, and it does everything well. So, one car, that's it. It can pull a ton. It can pull so much. It's not even funny. It's a trailer pulling monster, 550 plus horsepower, room for your friends, every option. Cayenne, excellent. And they're bulletproof. Like, what could be better? Porsche knows what they're doing. But yeah, 911 Turbo S is also one of the greatest of all time. What happened to the black Camaro? It's still sitting in the garage, in the shop. It's not sold yet. That, I really did want that C8, but I was like, there's a better C8. So I'm kind of looking for better C8s. But eventually the first gen Camaro will go away. One of these days. Sooner than later, I hope. It's such a cool old car, but I have two of them. Why do I have two of them? It's because that was my dream car, but now that I've had the dream car, you know, the whole reason I was building mine was to be a clone of that car. But after I had to work on it a bunch, I was like, why don't I have the one less power at 67? And I already have it. So car. It's on the list, guys. It's on the list. I'm gonna basically make an exact clone of the big block car with the LS car. It was always the plan anyway. And I won't ever have to work on it. I'll never work on it again. It'll oil change and that's it. LS is for the win. You shouldn't be losing me because I'm actually in a town now. You can see the Ford dealership beside me. So you really shouldn't be losing me. Was the Audi a regret? My R8? No, not a regret. I love that car, actually. And I got a lot of seat time in it.